Namaskar, welcome to the Entropy Hill. So, before starting basic thermal science as a subject, let's begin up here with a thermal story which is based upon the pioneering work done in the past by the brilliant minds like Carnot, Clausius, James Joule, Lord Kelvin, and many others as well. Now, the centerpiece of attraction in thermal science is evident from its name because of the existence of a Greek root word therm, which means heat. And because heat is something which has evolved its meaning from various developments taken place in science over a period of time, let me take you back in time, where heat was treated as an invisible fluid known as caloric. And at the same time, steam engines became popular means of extracting mechanical power from the available thermal energy, but were facing the problem of lower efficiency of around 5 to 10%. So while working upon a steam engine efficiency improvement program, this great man Carnot developed the theory of a steam engine with the help of caloric model of heat and claimed that no engine in this world can have greater efficiency than the hypothetical Carnot engine. But later the time changed, and because of the caloric's inability to extend, and because of the caloric's inability to explain some of the physical phenomena occurring in nature, scientific development took place in the form of Joule's experiment. When James Prescott Joule submitted his experimental findings to Royal Society and claimed that heat is not an invisible fluid as proposed in caloric model, but is just like a form of energy existing with many other forms of energy, his work was recognized and got appreciation from scientific community, and later caloric theory of heat was abandoned. तो दोस्तों, क्या था ये जूल्स एक्सपेरिमेंट जिसकी वजह से हीट के बारे में सदियों से प्रचलित धारणा बदलनी पड़ी, और क्या इस वजह से कार्नोट ने जो स्टीम इंजन्स के ऊपर काम किया था उसे भी नकार दिया जाएगा? लेट अस ट्राई टू सी. Now Rudolf Clausius and Lord Kelvin were keenly observing the work done by Joules, and because of the kinetic molecular model that came into existence at the same time, they tried to extend the idea derived from Joule's experiment and together developed first law of thermodynamics, which provided us the principle of energy conservation, that is, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. This law also established equivalence of different forms of energy and the possibility of their transformation. For this, let us take a particular case of energy transformation in which a coal having energy content of 100 units is getting transformed into 38 units of electricity. But at first this might appear to you as violation of energy conservation because energy content of 62 units are getting destroyed. But later it was explained as the degradation of energy and not the destruction, when Kelvin and Clausius revealed hierarchy among the various forms of energy and categorized various forms of energy into higher grade and lower grade, and they also observed differences in their transformation, because some higher grade forms like mechanical, chemical and electrical energy can be fully converted into lower grade forms like thermal energy, but the vice versa complete conversion of lower grade back into the higher grade was not possible. And these differences are caused by dissipative effects resulted from the imbalance of mechanical, chemical and thermal forces between the system and the surrounding, and because of this some amount of energy remains unavailable for conversion and get dissipated to surrounding in the form of low grade thermal energy. As can be clearly seen here, that this higher grade chemical energy of coal is finally getting converted into low grade thermal energy as it gets dissipated into the surrounding. Now cannot be further utilized. And at this state, this energy gets in perfect balance of mechanical, chemical and thermal forces between the system and the surrounding. So until we disturb this perfect balance of these forces, this energy cannot be further utilized. So my dear friends, this state is known as dead state, and at this state it comes in thermodynamic equilibrium with the surrounding, which is a compilation of perfect balance of mechanical, chemical and thermal forces. And for this it has to degrade itself. And for this energy has to degrade itself. So this degradation of energy was physically perceived as the increase in disorderness at molecular level, for which later Clausius coined the term entropy. Now this Gibbs extended the idea of Clausius about entropy and developed the concept of exergy to quantify the amount of available and unavailable energy during transformation, which provided more realistic sense by considering the qualitative aspect of energy rather than the hypothetical thermodynamic equilibrium approach, which deals with quantitative aspect of energy only. So friends, we are reaching at the conclusion of this whole understanding, but before that I would like you to take it up as an assignment to find out whether it is possible to achieve thermodynamic equilibrium or not. And I think I have already provided the answer in the previous slide, because we must always strive for the perfect balance of mechanical, chemical and thermal force between system and surrounding in order to get rid of degradation of energy, and this balance is defined as thermodynamic equilibrium. So is it possible to achieve it? I would like you to put up your answer in the comment section. Now my dear friends, with this understanding, it seems that every energy that exists must end up at dead state. And because energy is the ability to do work, it must lose all its ability at this state, and in order to do so, it must degrade its form, and the disorderness should be increased to such an extent that it comes in thermodynamic equilibrium with the surrounding. Now for us, this atmosphere is the surrounding, but for atmosphere, space is the surrounding, and then very deep spaces, which is a state of vacuum. And in vacuum, quantum field theory begins up at zero particle energy, so it appears as a never-ending process, and hence it was said by this great man Rudolf Clausius that the entropy of the universe tends to our maximum. But we will confine our subject within our atmosphere and onto its derivatives like power producing devices, which we deal in power plant engineering and IC engine, and power absorbing devices like refrigeration and air conditioning, the operational feasibility of which is governed by the statement given by Kelvin and Clausius respectively, when compiled along with Carnot theory, forms second law of thermodynamics. Also, Kelvin invented absolute thermodynamic temperature scale, which provided theoretical existence of absolute zero temperature, which acts as a reference state for entropy and forms the basis of third law of thermodynamics. Now with emergence of thermodynamics as a subject, we are able to deal with the quantitative, directional and qualitative analysis of energy transformation in real world occurrences. But at the same time, understanding about rate of heat transfer and modes of heat transfer were also being developed based on the research work of Newton, Fourier and Planck. So thermal science appears as a compilation of 5 different subjects for our study purpose. That is basic thermodynamics, heat transfer, power plant engineering, IC engine and refrigeration and air conditioning. In the next lecture, we are going to begin up with basic thermodynamics. But I would also like to take caloric model of heat, Joule's experiment and kinetic molecular model separately before that. And I believe that if you do not feel comfortable with this branch of science and it does not make much sense to you, then you need not to worry, because thermodynamics is a very funny subject. The more you talk about it, the more you get used to it. Thank you very much. Please like, comment, share and subscribe.